Hi, I'm Jim Johnson. I've had MS since 2011, and the first couple years of my journey was very tough, but I hooked up with the MS Society of the Greater Northwest, and they have lots of resources and help me out. And sometimes I forget I have MS, except for when I try and run, because I can't run, but it's been a fun journey. Met lots of very nice people. Just the communities around us has been very generous with us and with the society and donations and coming to dinners and luncheons, and it's been a great time. Adriana?
My name is Adriana Martin, and I was diagnosed with MS in 2021. Prior to my diagnosis, I was working at the National MS Society. I began working there right after my dad was diagnosed with MS, wanting to do something to help. And I was immediately blown away by the community, and I really enjoyed all the events and meeting so many people so determined to not let MS stop them from living their best life. And then quite a few years later, when I was diagnosed, I was extremely grateful for my dad's support and all these people that I had gotten to know during my time as an employee at the society. So the history of Team Big Jim and Adriana Banana, well, it all began while I was working at the society, and I went to Walk MS, and my mom and dad came to support me in my new job. And I saw all these people supporting people they cared about living with MS. And fast forward, we created Team Big Jim in honor of my dad. And we were all at Walk MS, and it was myself and my parents and my sisters. And my dad said, "Gosh, it would be so cool if we have shirts and a really big team next year." And I was like, "Dad, we do have a big team." And we all unzipped our jackets, and then a ton of our friends and family came out of the crowd, and we had a huge team and had surprised my dad at Walk MS. And that's how Team Big Jim was formed. And then when I was diagnosed in 2021, there was no question that we were going to make it Team Big Jim and Adriana Banana, and the team continued to grow. But my dad helped us have a great start to the team.
We've had fundraisers when my oldest daughter works for Starbucks, and they came out and supplied all the coffee for Walk MS one year. And then my son-in-law, he works for Brave and Metals, and they came out and sponsored us. And Potbelly Sandwich, one of my daughters worked there, so they kicked in a pretty hefty donation. And it's just things like that. And then Adriana gets on the Facebook and things like that, and I'll let her tell you all about that.
Yes, we're very fortunate that we have corporate sponsors willing to make contributions to our Walk MS team, but we also utilize social media, of course, in our fundraising efforts. So we have a Facebook group we share there. That's a great way for us to stay connected with our Walk MS team. We have people that walk all over the country. One of our good friends from college, he lives on the East Coast, and he walked 30 miles on Walk MS from afar in honor of how old I was when I was diagnosed. And he did a huge social media campaign, was going live as he walked all over Boston. And then I share on Instagram and post videos. And we also utilize my dad's service dog, Fitter. He is an excellent fundraiser. We made a page for him. And then I have two sons and a nephew, and they fundraise as well, showing pictures of the little ones, talking about how much they love their papa, or my son saying that he does Walk MS for his mama so we can have a cure, is a pretty great way to fundraise, but also build connection with other people who may be new parents or grandparents and people living with MS who are in the same situation we are.
I've worked with a number of people that had been diagnosed with MS. I think I was into it maybe 8 years of my journey with MS. And so I was able to get them pamphlets and contacts with the MS Society to help them through their first, year or so. They could call and ask questions and find out about support they could get, because a good friend of mine had to quit work. He had a really rough time with it, and MS finally got him. And before he passed, he was able to use the MS Society to help him get things and get prepared for what was going on. So it helps the whole community. It helps me. I like helping other people that have it, because when I got it, it was kind of a gut punch. And a good friend of mine, his dad had it for 20 years. So he had me call his dad. And old Wayne, I tell you, a couple minutes on the phone with him, and I had a new outlook on life. So I just want to repay that. And it really helps a lot, because some people, they can talk to others that have it, but they can't talk to people that don't have it. So you just lend an ear, don't judge, just listen and help them the best you can.
I think it's been pretty powerful to share our story, especially I'm so thankful that I worked at the society, and my dad I'm not thankful my dad has MS, but I'm thankful that I already knew people, because it's scary to hear the words "you have MS." And so for me to know there are all of these other people thriving, no matter what MS presented them with, and that there are all these people willing to support me, it's inspired me and made me want to share my story and help other people who are living with MS, who hear those words and perhaps they don't know what MS is, or they have not been connected to the society. But if I'm sharing on my Instagram or talking about it when I'm out and about and people know what it is, maybe it'll be a little less scary if someone else has to hear those words. So I think awareness is really important.
What I'd like viewers to take away from this video is that MS affects everybody differently. Everyone's going to have a different journey, but at the end, everyone's looking for a cure. And the best way we can find a cure is to raise funds to do that. And it's not just asking people for money. There's people working behind the scenes with our legislatures and going after grants and things like that, so that they can develop the drugs that are going to help these people have a good life. I know that I am personally on Ocrevus, and my quality of life has gone up 90%. It's a great thing, and that was developed through people giving money, getting grants, all that stuff. And people know that I have MS, and they go, "Man, you look great." And that's always something. You don't want to tell someone with MS you look great, because you really don't know how they are on the inside. But they say, "Wow, that medicine's really working. How'd you find out about it?" Through the MS Society, and it's just one of those things that really helps people out.
I think that what my dad shared is absolutely right. Everyone's MS journey looks different, and it's important to try not to compare your journey to someone else's. And you're not alone in living with MS. I think for me personally, it can feel isolating sometimes, despite this amazing community, amazing friends and family. But just as my dad said, people don't know how you're feeling and what's going on the inside, particularly with a disease like MS, where so many of the symptoms can be invisible. And that can be hard, but there is a huge community rallying around to fund research and provide support and get access to care and connect others living with MS. And a dear MS warrior that I met in my first year at the MS Society once told me there are 10,000 angels on our side and MS will not win. And I think of that often, because he's right. And it's hard and it's scary. And some days I'm really mad that I have MS, but I'm really grateful for the MS community. And I know we're close. I know that we're close to finding a cure. And I know that we cannot lose momentum, and that we need to continue to support each other and rally together so that we can end MS and do what my 3-year-old says: we can find a cure, mama, and no one will have to have MS anymore.